quilters, in today's show we're going to show you how to cut and sew a block from the Go Signature Circles die. Hi quilters, welcome to AccuQuilt Live. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Thanks so much for joining us today. All right quilters, let's showcase the new projects from our intro video. First up we have Monique A. Oh my gosh, did Brock see this? Because that is super cute with all the baseballs. Look at how fun that is. Used our snowball die to make those baseballs. That's really cute. And I like the cat. Next we have Pam C. Oh, Pam used the elephant die. Really cute. I love the fabric in here. And last we have another Pam, Pam W. Oh, Pam took a panel and then added flying geese and other cube shapes around the outside of it. That is really cool. All right, I'm loving all these projects. Be sure and share them with us on all of our social media platforms. I use the hashtag AccuQuiltBuilt. Okay, so here is the photo of the day. So this is the signature circles, but in a different kind of colorway. So my question of the day is, are you a traditional or a modern quilter? Let us know in the comment section. Today I'm giving away one of our Go Signature Circle dies. Be sure and register for future events on the AccuQuilt event page for your chance to win. I'm going to announce the winner of our registered viewer at the end of our show. Okay, I want to tell you that I probably am 75% a modern quilter and 25% a traditional quilter. I started out just loving traditional quilts and homespun fabric, and then I've just kind of morphed into the more bright colors, more modern look. So today is the Go Rainbow Rings a baby quilt. It is hanging behind me. It's from our good friend Stephanie Jacobson at Steph Jacobson Designs. It is a free pattern at AccuQuilt.com. So what you're gonna need is the signature circles die, and then you're gonna need the 2-inch strip die, which is the border that she used on the outside of it. I just love this quilt. I just think it's so modern and scrappy, and this is really a great die to use up your scraps. All right, let's take a look at the die. First of all, it's on a 10 by 10 die board. So it's gonna fit through your Go or your Go Big cutters. You wanna make sure that you have a 10 by 10 cutting mat, okay? That way it's gonna cover all the shapes. Sometimes quilters ask me if they can use their long 10 by 24 mats like they use for their strip die, and the answer is no, you really don't wanna do that. It's gonna kind of shimmy as it goes through. Don't be scared of curves. All of the shapes have notches to help you get perfect circles, okay? So let me show you a block, and then we're gonna lay out our fabric. So look, here's that traditional circle that Stephanie made. You'll notice that the shape A here is the same on both sides, and then C is different, all right? But we're gonna make a completely kind of different looking block. Look at this. I'm liking this one a lot. So I kind of wanted to get that modern vibe going, and I wanted to use a variety of colors so that it would give my block a completely different look, okay? So let me show you what I've done, and then we're gonna lay some fabric out. So here's kind of this different colorway that I've chosen, all right? And I've already sewn 2 of my pieces together. And then we had a whole conversation before the show about what should this section look like? Because depending on how you wanna lay out your block, you could go, oh, there, see? You could go like this. So this section would be, you could do purple and the dark blue, and then the teal, and then whatever color you wanna start here. Just kind of play with it. I like this kind of version here, so I'm gonna make my center section here this blue color, and then I'm going to do a purple and a teal for both sides, so then it will kind of match down here. So it's kind of fun. I don't know, spend some time laying out your pieces, how to create your blocks. All right, so let's talk about this die. First of all, the shapes are screen printed so you can keep track of your pieces, but they're only 3 pieces. They're really easy. You're going to notice right here there are notches, okay? And when you go to sew your block together, these notches are going to actually match right here. And that way you know where you're going to pin your fabric, and then you're just going to do these gentle curves, okay? Now when I lay out my fabric here, on this block, you're going to notice that shape B right here, ooh, here I can do it this way. B right here and A are the same color. So you could cut your fabric bigger. That's kind of my pro tip, right? If your shape A and your shape B are the same color, then you can make this square bigger to cover both pieces. And there's a little bit of overlay I'm going to show you, but it's really important to cut on the lengthwise grain. So as I lay out my fabric here, I want my shape A's to be the same color and my shape C to be the same color. Okay? So when I lay out my shape B, there's going to be a little bit of overlay. And okay, quilters, I'm really okay with that because it's important to have that lengthwise grain. All right, if you're not okay with that, you could, cut off the edges here. You could cut like a signature block shape out of your fabric. I'm not so worried about it, okay? So just keep in mind that there is a little bit of overlay, all right? So you want to make sure that you have your cutting mat. And don't forget to tell me in the comments section, are you a modern quilter? Are you a traditional quilter? All right? All right, so now I'm going to cut my pieces. Again, it can fit in the Go or the Go Big. I'm going to take my shoes off. Give it a little love. Slide that mat, don't lift. Okay. I like these bright, bright colors. All right. So now we have lots of different options. I'm going to turn on my iron here real quick on how to put these pieces together. Okay. Move my die. All right, now I know that both of these shapes here, these two are gonna always go together, okay? So I'm gonna put this here, all right? Now, here's the thing that's really important. Okay, when I put these together in the notch, see this is the frowny face. You wanna flip it over, and you want to sew where the smiley face is facing up. Because then as you go through the machine, it's going to bring that bottom fabric around so that it sews flat. If you try to sew it the other way, you just don't have as much control over the fabric as the bottom. Now, you can do lots of things. On our website, we have tons of different pins. This one comes in this cute little magnetic pin cushion. You could totally use bindy clips if you wanted to. But Erica taught me this really clever way using glue sticks. So we have these really great June Taylor fabric glue sticks on our website. So when you're getting the die in your cart, throw in some glue stick. You don't want to use just like school glue or just random glue. It's just not going to hold the way that you want it to, okay? And so, glue. So I'm going to try it today. I told Erica I was going to try it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here in the corner, and I'm just going to give it the tiniest little bit of glue, okay? Don't be a kindergartner and use all the glue, okay? Just give it a little bit, all right? Make sure it's on all the pieces, especially those points, all right? And I love that it's purple so you can see it. All right, so now here is the smiley face. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna glue it right here where the points meet. And then I'm just gonna gently bring my fabric right here next to the edge where that glue is. And it's just gonna hold it down. Look at this. Okay, so get here. Listen, this is my first time trying this. I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, so we're gonna start here in the corner. Okay. And then we'll get our glue right here. We'll press it down, okay? And then I'm gonna come here to this side and do the same thing, okay? You wanna make sure those edges line up. So when you come here to the edge, I'm gonna give a little more glue. You want the glue to dry a little bit before you start sewing. So we're gonna do 2 of them and then we're gonna come back and do some chain piecing because you know how much I love that. Okay? All right, now Ghost Signature Circles is part of our permanent collection. So it's available currently on our website, okay? All right, so now I've sewn the first, or I've glued the first one. Okay, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing to this one. Again, I want that smiley face. I'll get this out of the way, Greg. Ah, see, now I think I had to have more glue, but it's okay. I think the edges are sticking. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some bindy clips to just hold it. Just hold it till I get there. Okay? And it's gonna hold it right here till I get there. Okay, so this time I'm gonna add just a little bit more glue. I don't know, I feel like this is kind of a slick little trick rather than pins, because pins you gotta make sure you don't sew over them, right? So I'm gonna give it a little bit more glue. I didn't wanna give it too much. Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start here. Oh, make sure you're gluing not on your good green mat, because I just realized I was. So I'm gonna come right here to the center. I'm gonna come right here to the edge. And I'm just gonna pinch those fabrics together to glue them. Okay. Ah, here we go. All right, and this one I'm just gonna give it a little pin here so I know where I'm starting. I don't know, I'll have to try this glue method some more. All right, but we need to show you how to sew these. So give it a pin at the beginning where you can glue it, give it some more glue. This one actually is gluing together well. And then come here to this end, okay? I'm gonna give it a little pin. Make sure I've pressed my little glue fabric together. Okay. There we go. All right, so now this is pretty much dried. So I can start here. And I'm gonna start here in the end. Now here's kind of my pro tip about this. If it starts to bunch up, you can just keep your needle down, lift up your presser foot, and kind of smooth out that bottom fabric. I'm gonna start it here. All righty, here we go. You wanna make sure you're sewing a good 1/4 of an inch. Oh, it's kind of nice as I'm doing this. I can feel the little tacky underneath, so it's, okay. And just take it slow. These are gentle curves. These aren't really extreme. They're gonna be nice and easy to sew. You just wanna keep, okay, so now I can see underneath, I'm getting kind of a little bunch here on the top. So I'm gonna keep my needle down, lift up my presser foot. Okay. I'm gonna make sure we have both of those layers together. Perfect. Get right here to our point. Okay, again, I can kind of feel this fabric bunching up a little bit here. So I wanna make sure it's all flat. Okay. There we go. All righty. There we go. Okay, and now I'm ready to sew the next one. I've already started with this one with my little pin. It's also really tacky underneath, so it's nice to kind of help hold that fabric in place. It's important to start with the corners matching. Otherwise, they're not gonna match up in the block. Okay, just doing a little chain piecing here. All right. Keep going. I can feel that it's sticking. That little tackiness really helps just keep that fabric in place. So I come around the corner here. I'm going to lift up my presser foot, make sure my fabrics are together. Okay. And they are. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get right here. Again, just go a little slow. It's not a race, it's really easy. And once you do, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them, you kind of get the hang of, you know, the flow and how they go together, and it really does work out really slick. The ones that I made for my other one, I just sewed them together in one sitting. Okay. All right. And then again, we're going to come right here and make sure those ends match so that our points match together. All right, there. Okay. Oh, here. All right, so let's see how we did here. Now, the thing about circles and curves is you don't really ever want to press your seams open. And what you're gonna learn when you press is it's gonna kind of have a natural way of pressing. Okay, so like this one, see how it's gonna lay nice and flat? It just really is its natural way to go, okay? The same here with this. I have a tendency, my fabric, at least it seems like it likes to go towards the outer rings. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we have our little corner sections sewn, and now it's time to add them to our center section. All right, so this one I'm just gonna pin. We're gonna start here, and remember, what's the trick, quilters? Yep, you want that smiley face on the top. And I try to line up the notch here so that it's a straight line down. That way I know I'm sewing in the right direction, okay? So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna start here. Give it a little pin. And I have a tendency, quilters, to cut my pieces first and then sew them all together, okay? So you don't want to be cutting, you know, 2 or 3 and then sewing and cutting 2 or 3 or sewing. You know, just cut all the shapes you need for your one block or for the quilt, okay? So I'm going to give it a little pin there, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, okay? So I want to make sure that I start with my corners straight. And I'm actually going to give it a little bit of a back stitch here. Okay. And then as I come along here, I can see where the fabric underneath is catching, and I can see where the top fabric is catching. I'm going to put my needle down. I'm going to flatten things out. Okay. See, nice and easy. I'm here to the center, so I'm going to take my pin out. I'm also going to lift up my presser foot. Okay. Okay. Getting a little fabric going here. Okay. I'm going to come right to here. I see there's like a little wrinkle in there, but it's okay because I can just manipulate the fabric so I don't get those puckers. Okay. And when I come here to the end, I'm going to lift it up, make sure those ends meet together so there's a nice good corner. Give it a little back stitch or two. Okay. Look at this, ta-da. And I have found as I'm making my block that if I kind of press towards this signature center, kind of looks like a signature block, doesn't it? Okay. All right, and we have these wool pressing mats and irons on our website. This is a really great project for this because then you can sit and press, sit and sew and press, sit and sew and press, sit and sew and press, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna finish up this last one. I wanna make sure that smiley face is on the top, okay? Make sure it's looking straight underneath. Give it another little pin. Our upcoming quilt along with our good friends at AQS is the new, is using the glorified 9 patch die, which is, as you're learning to sew curves, the perfect die for that because it has really easy, gentle curves. And just like all of our dies that have curves, it has notches, okay? All right, so I'm gonna come right here, give it another little pin. I think the trick to sewing curves is to just be patient. You know, just take a breath. Don't get too stressed. Don't get too rushed. Okay, so I'm going to come here. I'm going to give it about 3 stitches and then take my pin out so I don't break a needle. Okay, and then I'm just going to start stitching here. Okay, I'm getting near that center, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to lift up my presser foot, make sure my fabric is all flat underneath. You don't want any puckers. And quilters, if you get puckers, it's okay, just stop. Just stop, take your seam ripper, pull out those stitches, and just stitch again. You know, it's too beautiful of a project to have puckers in it. Okay. All right, here we go. We're almost done. All righty. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing here, quilters. We're gonna come right here, we're gonna press, we're gonna press towards the center here. Remember, I always use an iron without steam. No steam works the best. Okay? Look at how fun that is. Okay. All right, so now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay it out so you can see this kind of funky section right there. Isn't that cool? So I've already sewn these 2 pieces together, so now I'm gonna sew these 2 pieces together. And because I've pressed towards that center shape, that signature block shape, my seams are gonna nest, which is always fun. It's how we want it, okay? And we're gonna start up here in the corner. For sure I'm gonna do a back stitch here because these are the corners of my block. If we put 4 of them together, it's a 6-inch finished block, so if we put 4 of them together, we're gonna have a 12-inch finished block, which I think is grand. All right, so I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna make sure these seams there nest. And then I'm gonna make sure the ones underneath nest, because then we're gonna have a beautiful project without those little glitches. Okay. All righty. All right. So there we go. Ooh, I'm gonna cut some of my strings and then we'll sew this block together. So look at how fun and easy that was. All right. Again, just take it nice and slow. All right, I'm gonna press this section away so that my center seams will nest. And be sure and tell us in the comments section, are you a modern quilter? Are you a traditional quilter? Are you both? Are you new to quilting? You haven't yet decided? Okay. All right, I am gonna clip some of my strings here. All right. So now when I sew these pieces together, I'm gonna watch because I wanna make sure my center seam nests so that my sides are equal. All right, so the question people ask is, how can AccuQuilt save me time? Well, quilters, think about sewing circles or curves. If you're not using the AccuQuilt system, you're probably using a template or a ruler, and those are going to be fine for the first couple of times you use them, but are they really going to be accurate every single time? The AccuQuilt system is always going to be accurate. It's 10 times faster than rotary cutters or rulers, and it's going to cut perfectly every time. So when I think about AccuQuilt and how it can save me time and what's great about it is always, always, always the accuracy. Because I know that every time I cut signature circles, they're going to be the same every single time. I'm not necessarily sure about that if I'm using foundation paper piecing or templates or even a ruler, okay? Because rulers, you know, fabric can slide and move. Okay. All right, how do we do here? Oh, we did so good. Ooh, screaming hot. I'll move it here. All right, so now I would take it to my big iron and press it out. But look at how fun this little groovy shape looks, right? We have a totally different colorway. You could totally make it any which way you wanted to go, okay? All right, see, yep, look, it looks like amoebas or something. I know, our friends in biology will tell us what it looks like. To make this fast and easy weekend project, you only need a total of 9 ring blocks. And if you don't want that modern look, think about changing this colorway to fit a nursery theme or make a scrappy one out of all of your scraps. I think that would really be fun. You want to lay out 3 rows of 3 blocks, sew the blocks together and press your seams in opposite directions, that way that they're going to nest. And then you want to follow the pattern to lay out your blocks. Finish the project by adding batting between the top and the backing. Pin or based quilt is desired, and use your favorite binding method. And be sure to share all of your projects with us on our social media platforms using that hashtag AccuQuilt-Built. So just a reminder that this is the Go Signature Circle die. It is part of our permanent collection along with the Go Joseph's Coat die. which also has those gentle curves. And I think we're going to be showcasing it next week. All right, quilters, let's announce today's AccuQuilt Live winner. Can I get a drum roll, please? It is Susan S. from Cocked Hat, Delaware. Congratulations. You're going to love this guy. All right, quilters, as you know, we've added a wide variety of June Taylor products, including that amazing glue stick, and they're now available on the AccuQuilt website. Now, don't forget, this month's die to try is the Go Mermaid King and Queen die. Isn't this so cool? It's only available till the end of the month or while supplies last. So make sure you get yours today. And don't forget, you can also pick up this die from your local AccuQuilt retailer.
Okay,
all right. Oh, hey, Erica, what's up?
Hey, you almost forgot to announce the next quilt along. I brought some goodies here.
I'm super excited.
So we've given some hints, right?
We have.
So I showed off some fabric.
Yes.
And then I said, and you showed off some fabric, I think.
Yes, this is Buttercup and Slate by our good friends at Moda.
Yes.
Look at how beautiful this is. And this was actually fabric that I bought a while ago, and I was thinking, oh, what can I make with this?
You've been waiting for just the right time to break it out. And then I said that it was a 9-inch finished block.
Yes, and then I talked about their curved pieces. Listen, September is curvy month, right? So there's some curved pieces, but gentle. So do you know what it is? Do you think they know? I bet you do. It is actually one of Erica's all-time favorite blocks.
It's the glorified 9-patch.
Yay!
And we're gonna make the Dart Around glorified 9-patch. So let's take a look at one that Pam made when the die first came out, right?
I did. And I made this for my Oakley bug, and I used grunge, of course. And it's super easy and super fast. It only needs 9 of those glorified 9-patch blocks.
Right.
A great scrappy project. Now, I'm actually going to make my next one bigger.
Yes.
Because I have a little bit more fabric. And for extra points, I made a flange binding.
You did. And you pieced your backing, too.
I did. I had a whole bunch.
Talk about that later, but look how what she did with her fabrics. Isn't that fun?
So pretty. And I just think that this is such a great die, as we've been talking the last few weeks about curves.
Yep.
All right, so should we show them the die?
Yes. You know, I made my first glorified 9-patch before the die even came out, and I made it for my granddaughter Ella, but I couldn't show anybody because it wasn't out yet.
Right. So it has 4 shapes, and we've screen printed the letters to help you keep track of your pieces. So Erica, do you want to hold up a block and we'll show them where A is?
So here's a block.
And so this is shape A, that center square.
That's center square.
Shape B is that yellow rectangles right there.
And you'll see this has got a little bit of a curve to it, and it'll have a notch on it. These are going to be so easy to put together, quilters. These are going to go together in a snap.
And that C is that kite shape in the corner.
Curved kite.
Yep. And then the D is that half melon shape. And the order in which you sew this together is important.
Right.
And we will talk about downloading the pattern and make sure that you are sewing together.
We're going to take you every step of the way, but remember, this is the AQS AccuQuilt-Along, and we want to make sure that everybody can participate. So if you don't have a Go fabric cutter and the Go Glorified 9-patch die yet, you can go on to today's blog post and download the free templates.
Yes.
You'll still want to go on to AccuQuilt.com and download the free pattern as well for those assembly directions. But all of those traditional cutting directions are going to be found in today's AccuQuilt blog post or the one posted by our friends at AQS.
And don't forget, quilters, it's on a 6x24 die board. It's going to fit through all of our cutters, including that Go Me. Now, be sure and share your as we talk about it, your fabric and your inspiration for it. Make sure, if you aren't part of that AQS Facebook group, that you join. And as you post pictures, make sure you use that hashtag AccuQuilt-Built, or AQSews, sorry.
AQSews.
AQSews, and then Eric and I can look for it.
That's right, and that Facebook group, if you haven't joined yet, be sure you do. It's a wonderful, fun community. We've been enjoying it all year long. It's the AQS Quilting Project Parade.
It is. okay?
All right.
And there's one more thing I was going to tell our viewers. Oh, it starts October 4th.
That's right. It starts October 4th. So you have the next 2 weeks to go ahead, get your fabric, get your pattern printed out, download your templates, order a die, whatever you want to do, however you want to put this together. I think I'm going to be making mine larger because I already had started some blocks.
She had with some beautiful 30s period
So
fabric.
I'm
Production
doing
fabric.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at some of these. So many different looks that you can get. I'm going to make mine bigger. Pam's going to make hers bigger.
Yeah.
We're going to have so much fun. Don't worry about some of those curves. We'll take you every step of the way.
And it's our last sew along for the year, so be sure and join. We have had so much fun. All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, well, stay here while we tell
All right.
everyone thanks. So on behalf of everyone here in the Dream Studio and offsite, we have some folks helping us as well. We'd like to thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. To learn more about your quilting craft, be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for live events every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out the events page on the AccuQuilt website for more details on upcoming shows. And if you're looking for even more inspiration, visit our blog for exclusive tutorials filled with tips and tricks. And remember, at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Join us on Tuesday, September 26th at 12 noon Central Time as we replay an event called Pumpkin Spice Up Applique. And be sure to come back for next week's AccuQuilt Live as I highlight the newly relaunched Go Tea Party die, and we have some great applique shapes.